fellow bookworms to Tibra's Den. My name is Whitney, and we have another Throwback Thursday. Of course, I'm still smack in the middle of my childhood horse obsession, slowly making my way through those books. I think I kind of already planned out the first couple months in the new year, and I think my horse obsession leads us through like halfway through February. So, lots more to come, but today we are going to be talking about Horsepower by Patsey Gray. Really excited to talk about this one. But before I do, just a reminder, we are resuming our book of the month coming up. And so we're actually going to be starting Lady Boss by Jackie Collins this Monday. So if you want to participate, the breakdown is in the description below. We're reading different chapter sets each week, and then I'll do discussion questions every Monday based on those chapter sets. And if you don't want to do it, by chapter set, you can certainly read the whole book and then head over to my website at the end of the month, and there'll be discussion questions covering the whole book over there. So however you want to participate. But of course I chose Lady Boss because of my mom. This is her favorite author. Originally this was supposed to be read in December, but we are going to be reading it in January. So really excited to jump into that. Of course, we are going to be resuming our series Saturday again in the new year. We are reading the Dresden Files right now. It's not going to be every Saturday, but I'll do updates as I work my way through the series. We're about a quarter of a way right now. We're going to be starting the sixth book in the new year, and there's like 20 of them. So really excited for that. Our weekly Wednesday videos still come out every Wednesday. And then of course our Throwback Thursday videos. And then also, if you haven't been following along over on TikTok and Instagram, I've been doing 25 days of Bookmas. There's only a couple days left. I'm really excited to see what I get these last couple days. And yeah, you can follow along over there if you want to see what I got. Otherwise, keep an eye out. There will be a compilation video of those clips. And then there's also going to be another video where I talk about which books I'm most excited for, which ones I'm anticipating enjoying the most, and all that good stuff. So definitely keep an eye out for those videos, along with my ABC author challenge updates. Those will be coming out here and there throughout the new year as well. So lots going on. Make sure you are subscribed, hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on anything, and then give this video a like while you're at it. It really does help. So all that being said, let's go ahead and talk about Horsepower. So this book is in kind of rough shape. This one, I think, again, it was another one from my stepdad. I know his sister was really into horses, so I know I got several books from them. This one was published, I want to say 1966. Let me just double check myself here. Make sure I'm not mistaken if I can get the pages to cooperate. Yeah, 1966. And it's in kind of rough shape. It really needs to be rebound. The whole second half of the book just comes out. So that made it fun to read because I was trying to keep the book together as I was reading it. But the pages themselves are still in pretty good shape. I don't remember reading this as a kid at all. So I don't know if it was maybe just one that was on my shelf and I just never picked it up or what, because the story itself wasn't familiar to me. Um, Now, I will say the story itself was very good. You can tell that she really enjoys her subject, the content of her book. Like, she is a horse woman for sure. And so that being said, the writing though was not very good. And when I looked, because I made that mistake with Rutherford Montgomery when Midnight, and he was actually a very popular writer, had won awards and such, but I just thought his writing style wasn't very good. And so I actually read about the author. There's actually a part included, and she's not a writer. She has several books, but she started writing because a horse injury laid her up, and so when she was injured and she couldn't go out and work with the horses, she ended up started writing. She did take some classes on riding, but past that, she was a horsewoman that got injured and decided to start writing about something she loved. And that definitely comes across. There's some phrasing issues, there's some grammar issues, some, I'm assuming, typos. Like one point she said agreed when it should have been agree. Just little things like that that kind of messes with the flow of the story. And then again, like the way she phrased certain things, like the words were in the wrong order. So definitely some grammar issues and things like that as well. Again, though, I really think that's more on the editor than the author themselves when those things happen. But like I said, you can tell like she knew what she was talking about as far as the horses go. She really made me think about my time when my mom worked for the Reigning Cow Horse Trainer. Um, and of course, we would go to horse shows and such. Like I didn't go often, but I would go sometimes, and it really made me feel like I was back in that world. And she captured it so well. Like at one point in the beginning, she's talking about how they just, barely ever sit down to eat. Like they're just grabbing snacks on the run and then going back to work. And that was very much the case. And her sister, so it follows Honey Jackson, and she lives with her sister, who works for like she does show jumping and such. And so this owner that has, show jumpers and whatnot, and they travel the circuit, and Honey gets to come, and then she's kind of more like a groom and does feeding and things like that. And so it's following those two, but in the beginning, her sister's like really skinny, losing a lot of weight, and my mom actually went through that. Like she was having trouble keeping weight on because it was so high stress, and she would never really sit down to real meals. She would always just, shoveling little snacks in her face as she was running around. So it captured that really, really well, and that really is how it is, that lifestyle. And so you, like I said, you can really tell she knows what she's talking about. Like she is part of that world. And yeah, I just really, like I said, it made me feel like I was back there, which I loved. I really loved that, and I wish the writing had been better without all those mistakes, because it messed with the flow of the story. And so like I would have to reread to make sure I was understanding. And sometimes that is a me thing, I know. Like when I'm reading, sometimes I have to reread because it's me not comprehending. But in this case, it was literally, those grammar mistakes and the phrasing and putting words in wrong order. And then, like I said, agreed instead of agree, and things like that. Because otherwise the content's there. It's just the writing was a little bit off. That being said, I don't think it's definitely for like older children. So if you have, an older child that's really into horses, they might really enjoy this one. Um, I would not say it's a story for like younger, maybe 12 and up, I would say, because any younger than that, like it's a little bit older. Like she's a teenager, and then she does end up going to stay with her dad and her stepmom and stepsister. And her stepsister's a little bit older, like about 18. And then her sister Di is a little bit older than that. And so, the characters are a little bit older and the storyline's a little bit older. But I would say, a 12-year-old that is maybe more advanced might enjoy this. But if they're horse crazy, they'll probably enjoy it regardless. So overall, a pretty good read. I just, like I said, I wish the writing had all those little errors and such had been caught and corrected. But really did actually enjoy the content of the story for sure. So, but I didn't really go into the premise. So it follows Honey Jackson, and she's working, with her sister. And there's this horse Blanco. Well, he's their like big money earner, but there's something wrong. They can't find anything wrong physically, but he's just depressed and he's not wanting to jump. And so he's not earning like he should. And so the owner wants to sell him, of course, because like he's not earning me money. Like this is a business, I need to make money. And so Honey convinces him to not sell him and give him a week of rest and see if he shows any improvement. So he does. But he's not improved enough. And so she ends up convincing her father. Her father's been wanting her to come stay with them and get to know her stepsister and her stepmom and such. And so she's like, I'll come, but will you lease this horse? And so he ends up leasing the horse. So it gives Blanco, whose show name is actually Olympic, so it gives him a chance to kind of rest, and he's burnt out. They worked him too young, too fast, and so he's really burnt out. And it allows him the time to rest and such, and it allows her time to just spend with this horse. And there's another owner that wants to buy Blanco, um, but he's very abusive to his horses. So Honey's like, you can't sell him. And so the whole time, she's just she's trying to save Blanco essentially, and then she ends up going back to the show circuit because her sister burns herself out too. And so in the beginning we see like she's really skinny, she's losing a lot of weight, and it ends with her needing some rest. So Honey actually ends up getting to show Blanco when he ends up coming back, and it's her first time showing and his first show back, and so that's kind of how the story ends, is with that. And of course there's like a little, you know fence that's tricky and things like that. But overall, like I said, pretty enjoyable. You get to see kind of both worlds. And you get to see, that she really does fit in the horse world, because when she goes and visits her father and her stepmom and her stepsister, it's a world of like country clubs and all the kids. They're slightly older than her, but they're just kind of, they have no purpose to their life. They're just kind of frivolous. And so she's enjoying, kind of being pampered and not having to work so hard, but that really solidifies that she really does belong in the horse world. Like that's where her heart is. And so yeah, I really thought the content was very, very good. Um but yeah, that's the story. That's horsepower. So if you have a horse lover in your life, probably would enjoy this. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and leave you guys here. Definitely don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on any of the videos that are going to be coming out. And definitely check back next week. I think next up is some of the Saddle Club books, which I know are quite popular. So check back next week. Happy reading, everyone. Bye.